Alright, everyone, thank you so much for joining us for another episode. It's a very special episode because we have the Duke and Grem reviews. Woo!
I knew you were gonna do that.
I know.
You totally did it.
I know.
What
I
do
messed
you
up
really want?
already.
Do you really want Gil back here that badly? You couldn't even just get my name right. It's plastered right on your screen right now.
You know what? Let's just have a nice show. Can we do that at least?
We're gonna have to because the radical one is on the show.
And with us is Kiro Star. How you doing today?
Oh man, woo! I'm doing great, man. Actually took some time off today to actually come see you guys again. This is gonna be my last appearance on this show and Zomspawn, with that matter. So hey, let's make it count. Let's make it good.
Yes, yes.
Alrighty.
With that said, we'll move on to our reviews, starting with Shovel Knight. This game, for many of the current systems that are out there, from what I know, it's very graphic oriented, very the graphics look amazing. I like the different styles and the platforming as well. So with that in mind, I definitely say it's worth a buy. You should definitely check it out. I enjoyed it so far. Graham, what do you think?
I've actually seen a couple of people actually trying to route. I guess that's the right word. Route for speedrunning this game more than anything. While I was kind of watching them play the game, I'll be very honest. I'm actually a huge fan of this game. I think it brings you back to that old school kind of 2D game where you're almost like playing like a mix of between like Mega Man, DuckTales, and Legend of Zelda. And I'll be honest, I totally dig it. So for me, it's definitely a buy more than anything. So I'm cool with it.
Alrighty. Moving on to our
Well, does Kiro might want to maybe say something?
Kiro, do you have an opinion?
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've like you didn't have to ask me on the show because I would have said I've been saying buy it for this game like about almost a year and a half ago when it first debuted. When we first saw first glimpses on it over with the Game Grumps, I fell in love with the game. It's a great mix of like platforming, as you said. It feels like old school Super Mario meets Castlevania meets Mega Man. And if you think about it, Shovel Knight is probably the first spiritual successor to Mega Man because even the composer, the music composer for this game, actually was one of the original composers for Mega Man, one of the original Mega Man games for the NES.
Oh.
So so you can actually look at this as the first spiritual successor to Mega Man before Mighty Number 9. So I love this game to death. I've supported it like ever since I heard of it. I love it, and the fact that it's finally out just gives me great joy. I say buy it, man. It's good. It's good. It's buy it.
Alright. Moving on to our next game. Speaking of retro kind of style of gaming, 1001 Spikes. This is kind of a Mario-esque platformer with a little bit of frustration that you would see in the classic retro styles with Ninja Gaiden and all that, because a lot of things can and will probably kill you. Good thing is that you actually start out with 1,000 lives, so there's no real danger if you like die a bunch of times. Really nice. I like the different designs. A lot of Super Meat Boy in that regard. So for that reason alone, I'd say it's worth a buy. Graham, what do you think?
I think that we've agreed on 2 games in a row now. I have to agree. It looked really, really fun. You kind of hit the nail on the head really when it came to just kind of like a Meat Boy style game. One of those that you're just gonna basically just keep trying and trying and trying more than anything just to get by the next level. I do say buy it as well. There is a 4-player local co-op and versus gameplay as well. This game is on Steam, so that's also why we didn't say rent it. It's got 100 plus levels in it, more than anything. Devious traps kind of thing, where again, it almost like the Boshi kind of games and all of that. If you're really really into that, then definitely buy it. If you're not into that and you just want a game just to kind of mess around a little bit, I mean, I would say still get this game. It looks really fun. It's got that 8-bit style, kind of like what we were talking about with Shovel Knights more than anything. So, I mean, I'm gonna have to say buy it as well.
All right, Kiro, do you have an opinion?
I can't really add anything to this. I haven't really heard of the game or seen any footage, so I'm just gonna sit back for this one.
All
Alrighty.
right. Moving on to our final game, we're talking about Transformers, the most recent one that came out. A lot of people have been, been playing this for a while. I've seen a couple of people here and there just kind of playing it, see how it is. This one kind of looks the same graphically wise. Story, pretty much the same if you follow like the newer stories of Transformers, especially with the movies and whatnot. I don't think it really is on par with the other Transformers that you might have seen before. So I would say it's definitely. I don't think it's worth your time. I would say skip it. Grem, what do you think?
Dang it, that's 3 for 3. I say skip it as well. There are many other reasons why. But the main one, the big main one, is that, Michael Bay decided to really ruin this. And yeah, we already know what he's going to ruin. So, other than that, though, I mean, if you are into Transformers and you do like the movies, heaven knows why, this game is available not only for PC, but Nintendo 3DS, PlayStation 3 and 4, Wii U, Xbox 360, and of course the Xbox One. Basically, it is kind of classified as like a third-person shooter strategy RPG mix game, mainly, and it does have multiplayer in it, but I don't see really wasting your time on getting this unless you're a huge Transformer fan. I mean, that's really the only selling point. Activision did make the game. Activision is okay, but I mean, I'd still kind of say it's really not worth your time right now. I mean, maybe when it goes in the clearance bin and all that,
Mm-hmm. Kiro, do you have a thought on this?
Dude, it's made from the Michael Bay movies. If it was made from like the cartoons or whatever, I would definitely say go for it. But like,
Oh,
Testing 1, 2.
think we lost Kiro?
I would avoid
Oh.
this like the plague.
There we go.
Could you repeat that just for clarification? We seem to lost you.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what happened. But Michael Bay. I mean, let's face it. This guy's ruined. He ruined the Transformers franchise, and this is based off the movies that he made. If this was the Transformers cartoon, I would say go for it. If it was based off the cartoons, I would say go for it. But we're talking about a guy who pretty much butchered the entire franchise to make it look almost pornographic and fucking filled it with explosions. So I wouldn't. I would avoid this game like the plague, pretty much. Not even a hardcore Transformer fan would touch this thing, man. For Christ's sake, no, nope.
Alrighty. Moving on to our previous talking about Metro the Redo Redux. This is a combination, Grem was talking to me beforehand, of Metro 2023 and another Metro game and the like. I actually seen a couple of the Metro games myself. They look very interesting in the regards of shooting and all that. The monsters look pretty nice. I enjoyed seeing all the different designs they bring. So for that reason, other reasons as well, just because I want to see what else it can do, I'd say it's worth a buy. Graham, what do you think?
I think we're actually going to disagree on a game. Amazing. Actually say rent it. To be honest, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, with first-person shooters, it's either hit or miss. And obviously with Killing Floor and the announcement with Killing Floor 2 and everything, I'm more psyched up on that more than anything. I can't get behind this game myself. I mean, there are many platforms that this game comes on. Again, the main ones, it seems like PlayStation 3 and 4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and of course the PC. It also is for Linux as well. But I don't know. I mean, the fact that it's just single player kind of just derails me a little bit. If I'm gonna play, a first-person shooter game, I want it to be multiplayer. Even when I was playing like Counter-Strike Source. I mean, and even Counter-Strike itself. I even though I raged, it was still fun to kind of go up against someone else. So the fact that there's no multiplayer kind of, dumbs it down a little bit for me. So I would say rent it more than anything.
Kiro, do you have a thought?
I've already played Metro 2033 a little bit. The game, I'm kind of torn on it because it has this Fallout-like feel, like the Fallout. It feels kind of like the Fallout games, post-apocalyptic and stuff like that. But of course, it differs in terms of the creatures and everything that you fight and the storyline in itself. The only thing that feels the same as Fallout is the world feel. I would recommend it if post-apocalyptic wastelands are like in gaming are your deal. But for me, I'd say demo the damn thing. Give it a whirl first before you do anything.
All right. Moving on to our next game is Hyrule Warriors. Kind of a unique spin on the Zelda franchise, as it were. I haven't really heard anything official about this yet, but when it comes to Nintendo and Zelda, Nintendo always brings their A game. Of course, Legend of Zelda famous for Nintendo with Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time and all the other games that's produced. So I'm expecting the same with this one. So definitely worth a buy for me. Grem, what do you think?
I keep thinking about it a little bit more and more. Like when I first heard that this game was going to get reviewed, I was like, oh my gosh, it's totally a buy it, and it's awesome and it's great and it's amazing and you should buy it and you should buy it and you should buy it. However, I'm just a little worried on if this is going to kind of hurt the Legend of Zelda series itself a little bit more, or I'm hoping that it will strengthen it more than anything. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Dynasty Warriors myself, and that's kind of where this is kind of leaning towards, like a hack and slash type of game. What was it? I'm trying to remember the other game I used to play. 99 Nights I used to play. That's one, actually. And I was so enthralled with just how those hack and slash games work, because it's not just... it's fun to just kind of like not meaningless, but, kind of phase out and just hit things into the air and make these sick combos and just have a blast. But then, like with the Dynasty Warriors and everything, you had like a purpose. I mean, you had to watch your map, you had to see what was going on, you had objectives, stuff like that. Again, this game is only going to be for the Wii U as far as I know, and it does support multiplayer as well, which is pretty huge. I'm just hoping that it does really well, but I mean, I'm still for it. I'm still saying buy.
Carol, what do you think?
All right. I saw this baby at the Nintendo Digital event back at E3, and then after that, after they showed it there, the trailer, ever. Then I saw them show the actual gameplay on the freaking Treehouse Live event they had later on that day. And the gameplay, I think, is exceptional because it combines many of the aspects we know and love from Dynasty Warriors while still maintaining the aspects of The Legend of Zelda. You got to find keys to progress into the map into different areas, find items that will help you so far. But what I thought was great was that the characters that we all know and love are in the game, and they also level up seeming accordingly. I mean, where else, in what other Zelda game are you going to actually see Queen Zelda? I mean, that's never happened before. You've only seen Princess Zelda. Now you're going to see a Queen Zelda. That's going to be crazy because they have now this rank up ability. I mean, Link can go from a warrior to a marksman and all this stuff. It's crazy. I mean, everybody's happy that Midna's back. Midna's now riding a Twilight Wolf of her own creation, not Link turned into one. You got Impa, who's never been playable, but now is totally playable as a character, and all these other crazy things going on. But it maintains the aspect, I think, of the Legend of Zelda franchise while introducing the mechanics of Dynasty Warriors. But I do think, in my opinion, this will actually strengthen it for when the Zelda Wii U game comes out, which is being worked on, which we all saw is going to have a Skyrim-like feel to it. And I think that'll actually build the momentum into that particular game. So I say, hey, throw your money at the screen, just freaking throw away your cash, buy the amiibos for this game if they make one, just go for it.
All right. And the final game we're talking about is a game called Unrest. It's credited as a RPG. Lot of aspects with combat, you can avoid it. It's seems like one of those RPG like JRPGs where you have random encounters and basically grind out until you get into a certain level. So that's always a aspect to RPGs that many fans like. Just able to either avoid combat or be like, okay, I need to get to this level, so I'm just gonna fight all these enemies and hopefully get to my level that I need to be. And so it's gonna be a story-driven RPG. So I definitely say if you're a big RPG kind of guy, I say it's worth a read at least. Graham, what do you think?
I'm gonna somewhat half agree with you. The more I kind of went and looked a little bit into this game, the more impressed I kind of am on how this is actually kind of becoming the game. It's an independent developer, obviously, Pterodactyl Games, and what ended up happening is the developers posted the game on the Kickstarter, which is an amazing thing, by the way. Anyways, the initial goal was $3,000 just to finish the game alone. Now, on the second day of the campaign, the goal was met. And that kind of speaks volumes for a game more than, and especially a quiet game. Like I'll be very honest, I didn't really hear much about this game or anything of that nature. The campaign ended not too long ago, actually. Last year. Actually, it was last year, not too long ago. I'm sorry, June 21st of 2013, and their total was $36,251 from, again, their initial goal of only $3,000. So for this, it has taken about a year to kind of finish up this game. Now, from what I understand, the game does take place in ancient Egypt. You have 8 chapters featuring kind of 5 different characters that you will play as. Some of the playable characters would include a peasant girl who doesn't want to go through her arranged marriage, an elderly priest, the chief of a mercenary guild, and the sole heir of the former royal family who now lives as a street urchin. So it kind of gives you a you make the decisions for these characters. So, and apparently it does have some fantasy elements as well in this game, but again, it's ancient Egypt. I'm kind of leaning towards the rent or demo, but at the same time too, it looks kind of interesting. So if you're really, really, really into RPGs, and of course if you want to show some love for the independent developers and all of that, definitely check this game out, or at least wishlist it more than anything.
Mm-hmm. And Kira, what do you think?
I wanted to ask you something that you said. I don't think I heard you. Did you say this game was about leveling up, about like getting to a certain level so you could like do a certain task?
That's what it sounds like, at least to me.
So what you're saying is that you think this game is about grinding. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, now this is my opinion on this. Very, 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 very few games have actually had the main mechanic being grinding actually work. And I think one game, and I think everybody here knows it, Zombie Grinder, which we've played here in the group before. Zombie Grinder actually implements grinding as the main focus and actually makes a great game. Now, if it works in Unrest World, I don't know if it would. I don't know, because definitely, if you're going to make that the main mechanic, that's either hit or miss. So whether it works or not, I'm not sure, but that's obviously the opinion to every person. So, of course, the demo is the right way to go in this one.
All right. So that's our reviews and previews. And, guys, as always, go to the forum, send in your requests. We'll definitely take a look at them, and who knows, they might be shown off in this show. So with that in mind, let's go into games in mind. These are games we are currently playing or looking forward to playing. Right now, I've been recently got USC for the Xbox One, so been just kind of toying around with that. I like the submission mechanic for it, so a little bit different than most. It's not really button mashing per se, but it's definitely a challenge if you want to submit a person. I'll say that as much. So that's what I've been currently playing. Grem, what about you?
I got actually a couple, but they're all in one area, and it's Blizzard, obviously. I've been playing a lot of Diablo 3, more than anything, the Reaper of Souls, excuse me. Just trying to get some legendaries and all the other fun stuff. Also, I've been finding myself a little bit in Hearthstone, and if you haven't really noticed, Hearthstone is actually really kind of getting some steam. Not on Steam, but within Twitch more than anything. There's a lot more people playing the game. Lot of people are having fun with it. It's a very quick, easy game. More than anything, I mean, it's just a lot of fun. You can just hop in, play, and then hop out. Not a big deal. I like the fact that you can't really interact with the opponent, and really more than anything, it's just, like I said, it's just something that's quick, fun, pingless, and it's just, it's just there. And then the other one, more than anything, is Heroes of the Storm. I haven't played it as recent, but there is a new champion out as well. I still love the game. I still think it's hilarious. Just to go in there as like Stitches and throw a hook around and just like eat them in your belly. More than anything, the game is a lot of fun. So those are my kind of 3 games in mind, all wrapped around in Blizzard. I have been a Blizzard freak for a while, and for right now, it just seems like I have just been doing just anything Blizzard games besides League of Legends. It's just been Blizzard games. So those are my games in mind more than anything.
Nice. Karen, what about you? Any things that you're currently playing?
I got 3 games in mind that I've been playing on Steam that were gifted to me actually during the summer sale by a good friend of mine, Mr. Volg Shan. I want to thank you very much for gifting me these games. Not sure if you're watching this or not, but thanks nonetheless. But there is one game on the Wii that I am currently revisiting, and obviously I wouldn't be the Henshin gamer if I didn't revisit it. Of course, Kamen Rider Super Climax Heroes. Freaking love that game to death. I've also been playing the American iteration Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, but that one not so much. But in terms of the Steam games, 3 games occupy my list. The first one is Fallout New Vegas. I was gifted the ultimate game pack, which comes with the entire DLC. Love it to death. I'm gonna say right now there is something very, very, very satisfying about blowing Benny's head off with a Tesla cannon. We'll say that right now. But yeah, I like the Fallout New Vegas. I want to see about getting Fallout 3 and all of the Elder Scrolls games, because I understand that they all use the same engine, and that engine is highly moddable. And I've been shoveling mods into Fallout New Vegas like nobody's business. I am actually, instead of walking across the Mojave, I'm actually driving across the Mojave in a fucking NCR truck, which is crazy. But it's very moddable, and I like that. So I Fallout New Vegas, and then another game that was gifted me, Turbo Dismount. Freaking love it. Freaking love that game. I love that game because it's nothing than like driving these crazy cars into oncoming traffic and watching the carnage unfold. Oh dear God, I love that game, especially when you consider I got like a Kamen Rider bobblehead going on my character, and okay. And finally, this one has been the one I've been playing the most. I love this one. It came out about a week ago or so. It's a great game made by the guys who brought us Castle Crashers and Alien Hominid. The guys at the Behemoth, they brought us Battle Block Theater. Love that game. Been playing it every day. I love it to death. Especially loving the custom heads option. I actually have my head. I don't know if you guys have seen Soul Eater, but I'm actually playing as the prisoner Excalibur. Funny. But the levels, I love the games. The level design is amazing. The mechanics. I'm a big sucker for puzzle games. I love Portal 1 and Portal 2. So playing and Thinking with Time Machines. I also love that mod. That one's great. But Battle Block Theater, I love the puzzle game in itself. It's a great game, and I love it, and I recommend it to anybody who hasn't played it yet. Great game, and I gotta say the Behemoth strikes again. One of a kind. Love it.
All right, so those are our games of mine. Moving on to the KZW report with Infectious. A lot of stuff happening in Infectious, and Grem was actually part of it, weren't you?
I totally was, dude. I got to sit down with the dude and commentator Steve. It was totally a blast. I hope that I am like given another opportunity to do something like that, because I gotta be out there. I had a blast. I hope everyone did as well watching the pay-per-view, but it was a lot of fun.
Yes. So we'll go through a couple of the dark matches, starting off with Slicer taking on the returning Guild Thunderstrike. Yes,
Not returning on this show. Oh wait.
Kappa.
Whoops.
Yes, but Slicer defeated Guild Thunderstrike's not a way to return to Kizaru, I would say the least.
Hey,
Would you agree?
to be fair, I mean, Slicer is, I mean, his real name is Rick, and he's got that mask on. So, I mean, that was a little unfair for Gil.
Rick Slicer?
Well, Slicer's his
It's a
nickname.
joke in there somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, but I thought if that was his last name, I think there could be a joke there, but I'm not certain.
Possibly.
And then we had Luke Cranfield taking on DJ Silva, and Luke Cranfield won that match. Any thoughts on that, Graham?
Actually, there is one thought, and I'm kind of hoping that DJ Silva has a little bit more time. I kind of dug his look. I really did. You don't see too many people come out with headphones and wrestle with him, so I kind of give him a shout out for doing that. So I like little things that kind of set people apart, like Scorpio, for example, wearing the towel and wrestling with a towel on. You know, stuff like that always gets me behind someone. So
Yeah. All right.
So I'm assuming, like, way back in the day when the inverted shadow was in QCW, you dug it because he never lost his hat off his head.
exactly.
All right, we'll move on to the actual card, starting with the 10-man Battle Royal for the determine the championship match for the TV title that was going to be happening later on in the pay-per-view. And Scotty Hollywood managed to eliminate everyone in the Battle Royal.
My pick.
So a very impressive win for the up-and-comer. A lot of people had their own thoughts on this matchup, but it turned out that Scotty Hollywood won just one more chance at Chris Jones, and we'll talk about that match later on. But what did you thought of the Battle Royal, Graham?
I thought it was really, really fun. It was kind of neat to see the competitors that really wanted a television title shot. I really had a strong feeling when Scotty Hollywood, was in the Rumble. I did pick him to win. Luckily, he did win. Again, he had a match, I think it was the week before, against Chris Jones. It didn't turn out in his favor, but a lot of people are huge fans of Cletus, so I was like, hey, if Scotty Hollywood wins, Cletus is going to come out. It's going to show, and the fans are going to love it. So I pulled for Scotty Hollywood, and he won. So I was 1-0 in my pick up to that point.
Yeah, Kara, what did you think about the Battle Royal?
Dude. Well, props to Scotty Hollywood on that one, dude. But I mean, let's be honest. Scotty Hollywood, he comes in here with all these, comes in here saying, "Oh, I've done this and all that," but nobody cares about him. Everybody cares about his bodyguard, Cletus, man. And I'm like, Cletus, dude, you put him in a match with Big Bob, everybody will fucking watch this.
That's true.
No, seriously, but everybody more. Yeah, that's my opinion though. I think everybody's more focused on Cletus and Scotty Hollywood, which they should, but you know, that's me.
All right, and then the next match we had a Falls Count Anywhere match between the Green Void and Jack Johnson. A little backlash from I think it was 2 weeks ago with that. Green Void was able to pick up the win, trying to silence the John Chaos guys of the world. I guess is the message he's trying to prove. So just like I said last week, if you're announcing that you're a John Chaos guy, watch out, because there might be a green bean coming after you. And I'm not talking about Graham.
Wait, what? How did I get thrown in this?
Well, because you were with Green Void.
Yeah, that was like years ago. Why are you bringing up the past, dude? Oh, wait, Main Event Network week. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you go.
All right, fair enough. But still, it's not like I hang out with Green Void. It's not like I go, hey, Green Void, let's hang out in your closet with the Keeper. Whatever, it's still Creeper. Nonetheless, I mean, come on, dude.
All right, I'll give you that as much. But still, what do you think about Green Void picking up the win?
I think that it royally, totally, radically sucked. I'll be very honest. Though Jack Johnson does not have the theme song, and he knows exactly which one, He's still a pretty cool
Every day
competitor.
I'm gonna peep in the city.
Exactly. Nonetheless, he's still a pretty good competitor. Actually, I find myself a John Chaos guy, even though I'm totally on Livewire. He did teach me how to bust up some belly buttons, ain't that right, Norns? And, do my thing. So it kind of sucked to see that Green Void win again, but at the same time, too, it's very scary because Green Void now is starting to really kind of build up some momentum here. We were all kind of almost laughing at him in a way with the whole Volano situation where Volano was able to get free, and Volano is this bigger than life guy now, and congrats again on him, or at the time was the Cruiserweight champion. But nonetheless, a lot of people were thinking that Green Void was kind of a laughing green beanstalk. That was a terrible joke. I apologize. Nonetheless,
I think you were thinking of Jolly Green Giant.
ho ho ho.
Kind of thing.
No, stop, dudes. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that I was kind of hoping that Jack Johnson would win. It didn't turn out, and Green Void is becoming more and more scarier with each win. So people in Contagion, not only do they got to worry about Dead Zone, but they have to really worry about Green Void.
All right. And
I think what the one thing you want to add to that, is that with Green Void now actually getting back momentum, I think it's not so much that we have to worry about the Green Void and the Dead Zone. I think we have to worry about the Dead Zone taking an eye to the Green Void and trying to recruit him, because that could damn well possibly happen if he keeps this up.
Yeah.
Well, if I remember correctly, did Dead Zone get Green Void at one point? I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll have
Once
to
you don't
ask
succeed,
someone.
try again.
Green Void, we're talking to you directly. We want you to explain yourself.
Our next guest for next week on the Duke and Grem reviews. Oh, wait a minute. Did I just spoil something?
Maybe.
I don't know. Moving on.
To
Yes.
first of the Four Corners matches, which was Far Beyond Better, the Hooligans, the 36 Club, and the Swaggers. So we had Max Height take on Max Crimson, Yoshiro Sakamoto, and Johnny Swagger. Max Height won the match, but he didn't do a 450. We're very disappointed in you.
Suck it, Max Height.
You're
That's for my boy Jarek, by the way.
Okay, fair enough. But regardless, Max Height was picked up a win. Very impressive win regardless. A lot of people are saying that the Hooligans might be gaining momentum. What do you think, Graham?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say that a team that held the tag team titles for so long to be gaining momentum, but you are right on that. A lot of people thought that maybe Eddie Cool and Max Height might be done, that they really don't have a shot anymore to reclaim the tag team titles, and it was really, really huge from the fact that Max Height not only did pick up the win, but he pinned Max Crimson, the tag team champion, one half, excuse me. I was pulling for my boy Yoshiro Sakamoto, pardon me, but it wasn't to be, and Max Height did end up getting an impressive victory, but I don't know where does this stand now? Do the Hooligans get the shot, or does the other Four Corner match winner, which we'll get to soon, do they have a right to have that number one contendership spot? So, but it was pretty huge for the Hooligans nonetheless.
Yes. What do you think, Kiro?
Let's be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of the Hooligans because me and my buddy Richard Noble. I don't know why did I start talking like that. Sorry, but me and Noble in the past, we tried to face them and try to take the titles off, and we were unsuccessful. So pretty much now that they're off the titles, you think, okay, they're an afterthought because they've held the title for so long, they shouldn't even be in the picture anymore. But here they are, still proving that they are still, champion material, and hell, even pinning one half of the champions in that match still shows that maybe their reign probably didn't deserve to end when it did. Maybe it could have gone on forever. It could have been maybe some sort of outside circumstance that we didn't know, like maybe they didn't train enough, or maybe they were tired, or something like that, some sort of excuse. But it would probably be valid because I think if one circumstance, these guys could have still be tag team champions to this day. Just how great they are, because they're still showing they're still winning matches, and they even winning matches against the guys that took the belts from them.
All right, moving on to our next match was Giga versus Nick Delta, and this was the most impressive feat I ever seen, because Giga throughout the entire match was getting punches handed to him left and right. He was just getting clobbered, and then he just decides to do a chokeslam, and he gets the win. So that really shows his strength in the ring. So credit to Giga for that. I know you were very impressed by Giga as well, weren't you, Grem?
A little bit. I would like to announce that the referees need to start checking Giga. Maybe we need some random invincibility stars being checked on him.
Starmans!
Because, yeah, a man like Giga should not have been able to take that many punches. And this is no offense to Giga, but Nick Delta was just all over the place. I mean, rights, lefts, jaw, chest, the man region, he was all over the place. I mean, Nick Delta was lightning, and he probably would have knocked out Rocky. I mean, at that point, that's how strong Nick Delta was this night, infectious. But it was not to be. And Giga is just, I mean, he is tougher than any brick wall in the Mushroom Kingdom. I mean, it is amazing on just what Giga can do, and what is left for Giga now? I mean, Nick Delta wasn't able to finally get a pin on Giga, and Giga has been winning time in, time out, and it's just like, where does Giga can pretty much go anywhere at this point. And if he wants to go for the QZW championship, he can. I mean, if he wants to go for the television title, or I mean, even the women's title, I'm sorry, John Chaos, but I mean, he can go anywhere. He can do whatever he wants. I think he's earned that so that he can get any title shot, it seems like, no matter what. So, I mean, it was impressive, but at the same time, I kind of like Nick Delta. I think he's a really cool dude, and he's got a great theme song, so I just feel bad for him. I mean, he poured his whole heart and soul in that match, and I was watching it live, like, right there. I was just seeing on how much sweat was going off of Nick, and he's just like, what do I have to do to knock this man out? And he just wasn't able to do it. I mean, it's very frustrating, I can imagine, but I'm hoping that, Nick keeps his chin up, and he moves on to the next fight.
Yes. Carol, what do you think about this impressive performance?
I'm gonna be honest with you. The dude, Nick Delta, freaking, you can't disrespect. I mean, I can't hate on a guy that uses the Smooth McGrew as theme, because let's face it, I work in the same company as Smooth McGrew, but I digress. The guy was building up his KO meter all night. Let's face it, throughout the entire match, building up the KO meter. But there's always just that one little mispress that will cause him to waste it or not use it in time, and this was one of those times. He put in all the effort, and I'm going to be honest with you, I do suspect shenanigans here, maybe in the form of a Starman, maybe in the form of a metal cap, I don't know. But the thing is that Giga, I mean, the guy was like, barely took all the punches, barely hit it down, and then like, just with one chokeslam ends it, and that to me says like, as much I guess you see, no matter how much speed and agility that Nick Delta had, and how much acapella Smooth McGroove is giving him, at the end of the day, I mean, power was the main influential factor in this match, which is why Giga took the win. But yeah, no, I think Nick Delta can actually come back from this. I mean, it's not that big a deal as long as he keeps up his speed and agility game. I think he's gonna be set.
All right. Moving on to our next match, which was the continental title between Sumo and Mikhail Orlovsky. Very impressive match by two of these big heavy hitters, as it were. Sumo was able to pick up the win. Very impressive. I liked how the match progressed. Remy, anything to note in this match?
It's same old Sumo. I mean, it's been years since we've seen Sumo, and back in the day too. I remember him in the dungeon, and I was just like, dude, I have to try to find a way to be. I got to be that guy. I got to be that guy that actually beats Sumo, and I never got a chance. And ironically enough, a little side story too. I actually ended up giving him a coupon for an all-you-can-eat buffet for free. in exchange for a challenge. He just took my coupon. He didn't give me a title match. I was just like, dude, wow, that's pretty harsh. But nonetheless, I mean, Sumo is very light on his feet for a man his size, and he's showing why he is probably one tough, hombre in the ring. And if this keeps up, we might not see another champion in the continental title ranking at all. But I'm thinking that Sumo can't keep this up forever. Someone's going to have to find a way to just totally find the chink in his armor and actually kind of steal one from him. So it's tough, but it's the same old Sumo.
Mm-hmm. Kira, what do you think?
Let me hit you back to about 4 years ago, back when I debuted back in the day, back in the dungeon. Since we're on Main Event Network, Nick, I feel it's imperative that I mention this. 1 second. I remember facing him for the Dungeon Championship. Back when I was Keisuke Staraku, back in the old dungeon days, when I was playing the Japanese name because, tsunami relief and stuff like that. That match I had with Sumo for the title was crazy. I didn't win the title, unfortunately, but that match he had showed me that not necessarily heavy men have to stay, inside heavy restrictions. This guy was all over the place in that match. I remember he was high flying, the explosions barely phased the guy. It was crazy because it was a landmine death match, if memory serves. But that match showed me that Sumo was the top of his game. And when I see the match that he had at Infectious, he's still on that same level. He doesn't feel a need to get better. He's got enough. He's at the top of his game no matter what, and this proved that at this match because the guy, like I said, was like Grem said, was all over the freaking place. And dude, if I was in a match with him now, even with my cybernetic Kamen Rider implants, I still wouldn't be able to keep up with this guy. Because that's just how he is. His top of this game is like the top of the entire game. So yeah, I got much props for Sumo because he put me through hell almost 3-4 years ago, and to this day he's still putting people through hell, and I respect the guy for that.
All right, moving on to our next match is a match that many people were looking forward to. I would say William James taking on Babu for the hardcore title. William James was able to pick up the win. I think we got this on Trash Can make his run in, try to make his name in the hardcore division. Mm-hmm. But regardless, very impressive match. Do you think, Greg, that now that William James won that, do you think he can now claim that he is like the top guy as far as what you would consider like hardcore?
I think.
Or you still think Babu is?
I'm thinking that William James needs one more really good, solid title defense. I mean, Babu is a really, really huge name, and Duke, you and I both know, like, we were in the same ring at Ground Zero with Babu. He's really, really tough. He's tough as nails. And for Babu not to be able to pick up this win, I'd imagine, these losses are going to kind of, get him a little, down and out, but I don't think Babu is out completely. And for William James, though, this is what William James has been all about for his entire career, and to win the Hardcore Championship just means that much to him. And you can see it every time that he walks by, and you can just see how much confidence he has, and just how much he boasts a little bit about how he is just that hardcore, and this is what he's wanted for almost his entire life. And William James might go down as a really great champion, probably one that not many people know about too. I mean, come on, he wears the weird makeup, and he's got like blood all over him, and he's got purple hair. You really gotta question what's going on with this guy, what's in his head. But again, he's just boasting with confidence right now, and that could be pretty dangerous, especially with a guy who likes to bring down a kendo stick when he makes his entrance.
Yes. Kira, what do you think about William James winning the hardcore match?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Babu actually accepting this offer, I'm not gonna say it was a bad idea, but I do feel it was a little bit insulting because the guy was just in line for the biggest championship in the business, the QCW World Heavyweight Championship, and now he's been reduced back to the hardcore division, which I know is his specialty, but that still feels like a step down. I would think that Babu would be insulted, but nonetheless, he came into this match bringing his A game. Unfortunately, he didn't win, but now that begs the question: what does Babu do now? He lost his chance at the QCW World Title. He lost his chance at the QCW Hardcore Champ. So where does he go from here? Does he just what's next for him? So that's like the main question I have. I mean, William James, I'm not gonna knock the guy. I mean, like I said, going back to my dungeon days, I also had purple hair and had myself on a high freaking pedestal. So I pretty much know what William James is going through right now. But the only thing is that the difference between me back in the dungeon and him right now is that he actually has the badassery and the skills to back it up. He doesn't have those bloody bandages on himself for nothing, you know. I mean, they didn't get bloody just like from his own blood. That's like the blood of all his opponents too. So like that right there tells you that he's probably like got his head up in the clouds, but at least he's doing his best to get his body to catch up to it, you know.
Alrighty. Next match we have is Jerry Lawler taking on Sean Braddock for the crown. Crown him, King. And we had Jerry Lawler picking up the win, so I guess he gets his real crown back, I guess. Love the unique spectacle interview with Braddock. He said he basically knew what he was, last week we said he knew what was going to happen when, it was going to be Jerry Lawler versus Sean Braddock. I mean, so you got to wonder, did he purposely lose, or do you think he tried his best, Grem?
We were talking about before about the same old sumo. Well, I pretty much say the same about Sean. Dude is just, for whatever reason, he just seems cursed in the ring. I know one day Sean Broderick is just gonna go on a tear, and he's gonna put on his shades and do that little kick thing that he does and just go through so many competitors with that one attack. But I mean, to be honest, I think maybe Sean was like, okay, dudes, listen, this is Jerry Lawler and I'm in the ring with him and I'm kind of starstruck right now and my glasses can't stop the light going through into my eyes. And he choked. So I think that's kind of what it kind of boils down to. I really think, though, that this should have just been avoided, and Sean should have been totally the bigger man and just given back the crown. It didn't have to go like this. I was a little surprised, though, that we didn't see Drew McIntyre come down with Jerry Lawler. We did see him a couple weeks ago, but it's a shame to not see Drew Mac. But nonetheless, Jerry Lawler does have his crown back. That is the important thing. So
yeah. Carol, what do you think?
The King Broderick. I can't. I mean, he's my friend. I'm Sean's my homie, but I really cannot imagine him in the crown. I can't imagine himself calling himself the King. I'm sorry. I mean, as much as I love him, I just couldn't see it. But Lawler won, so unfortunately, Sean won't have that chance, to call himself the King again. So, just that. That is that.
Alrighty. Moving on, we have the Young Lions title between the Knight and Zach Hero with Razor Sharp promoting his DVD, as Grem pointed out.
Yes.
And Zach Hero surprisingly picked up the win. And there was a lot of commotion backstage between the Knight and Zach Hero after that. Knight basically demanding that he would want to face Razor Sharp. He wanted to face Zach Hero. He just basically wanted to just tear up Far Beyond Better. And, I don't blame the guy, but, do you see anything positive with this, Graham?
The only thing that I kind of see positive is that, the Knight is actually human. Because he was just on a roll as of late. Nonetheless, though, don't take anything away from Zach Hero. Zach Hero's been on quite the roll himself. And really, with these two kind of facing off, one of them was going to have to kind of lose. That's just kind of how it is when you're in the ring. One person's going to lose. So I am not shocked at all on on Zach Hero. I don't understand the triangle right now. I mean, between Zach Hero, the Knight, and Razor Sharp. I mean, Razor was just trying to sell his DVDs more than anything. He's basically saying, buy DVDs, please, to everyone outside. It was very, very distracting. And I understand where the Knight is coming from, because that can get really distracting. I mean, seeing a man like Razor Sharp, a plain man like Razor Sharp, going out there and trying to sell DVDs while you're having a match can be very, very distracting. And, I think the referee might have wanted to buy a couple, and I think that's what kind of might have happened as well. But, I mean, that's rumors. I'm trying not to totally spread stuff around here, but, I don't know. I mean, the Knight still has a very, very positive future, as does Zach Hero in QZW. So, the Knight shouldn't be down on himself, and Zach Hero should not think too lightly on the fact that he was able to get this title, because it could get changed. I mean, he could lose it in a heartbeat.
Carol, what do you think?
Okay. Whew, sorry, I had to run for a minute. I'm gonna be honest with you. Seriously, why is Razor Sharp selling DVDs in ringside?
He needs to.
Freaking QZ. Well, don't we have freaking QZWshop.com for that? I mean, what the hell? That's not. That's not exactly what I. When they say he's a man, he's there as a manager, but that's not what they mean by that. That's all I have to say.
Move on to the next match, which was the second part of the Four Corners match with Zato, Mushi's Hashi Zato, Brandon Richards, A. Cool, and Jimmy Swagger. A lot of people were pulling for A. Cool to win this, because that might have been a potential match again between Far Beyond Better and the Hooligans. However, it was not the case, as Zato picked up the win this time around. So you gotta think maybe this might be a potential match between the 36 Club and the Hooligans. Do you agree, Grem?
As much as I mean, I would love to say it, yes. I mean, Musashi, Zato pinning Brandon Richards, again, the other half of the tag team champions. And that was almost like a weird night for Far Beyond Better. I mean, sure, Razor Sharp did get some money for his DVDs. Yes, Zach Hero did win, and we'll talk about Razor Sharp's cheating ways in a little bit later on. But other than that, I mean, it was a downside too, because both members of the tag team champions for Far Beyond Better both got pinned, and they lost their matches. So for Zato, I'm hoping that this gives the 36 Club and the Hooligans that one match to see who is the better tag team. And I'm sorry, but I'm rooting for the 36 Club. I'm just a fan.
Mm-hmm. And Carol, what do you think about this potential matchup?
I'm going to have to 50-50 on that. I half agree with you guys and half disagree with you, because I don't think it'll just be a 36 Club versus the Hooligans. I think this would actually be 36 Club versus the Hooligans versus Far Beyond Better for the tag team championships. And now that would probably be like a 3-team dance, if you will, like a triple threat match and stuff, something convoluted like that. But I think it would be those 3 teams, because I think each, both of them have just proven their stakes to fame. The 2 matches with the champions in them, one champion position and this, that, I think it would actually make sense to have this 3, because if you notice, these 3 teams now have something against each other. So that would actually make for a great match, for the titles no less. So that would actually be interesting to see.
All right. Next match, we had Casey Ryan take on Chaos Razor and DJ Kraft in a ladder match, I guess, to determine who would get each other's wardrobe, I guess. Again, not too sure on Chaos Razor's intentions, but regardless, Casey Ryan was able to pull down the briefcase, and now I guess he's able to wear some fur coats. So look forward to that. Any thoughts on this, Grem?
Yes, the more clothing that Cassidy Ryan can put on, I think is very, very helpful for all of our eyes. Just totally saying. You're right, though. The one real questionable thing, besides the whole thing, I guess, is what was Chaos Razor doing in this match? What was his number one thing? What did he really want out of all of this? Did he just want to be in the ring with both of them? Did he Did he have some diabolical plan in mind that it was going to, I don't know, change what these two? It's just so confusing. I just don't understand it. But at the same time too, Cassidy Ryan won. I'm just glad that DJ Kraft is not going to be wearing a Miley Cyrus T-shirt. That just wouldn't look right at all. I don't know. And like I said, more clothing on Cassidy Ryan, totally better. So I guess the better man won.
And
I can sum up for you what the Miley Cyrus statement in one sound. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna be honest. I have no. You make a point, Graham. I have no idea what the hell Chaos Racer was doing in that match. What point does he? What is he fighting for wardrobes for? The dude's a shapeshifter. What is he like fighting for the right to shapeshift in any of these two guys? I mean, what's the deal with that?
Maybe he was gonna get like
sense.
the Miley Cyrus shirt and the fur coat. Like he was gonna get both. I mean, I don't know. It would be just weird with a tux on.
Maybe if his shape-shifting abilities now allowed him to make fusions of two wrestlers and make himself a fusion of two wrestlers, then maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Which, of course, I don't think anybody wants to see because that would be disturbing.
No. Just no. Totally no.
Yes. Next match we'll talk about is the television matchup between Chris Jones and the number one contender, which was the Sky High Wood with Cleus, as everyone was excited.
Cletus!
Yes. But once again, Chris Jones showing his ability in the ring by coming with the win against Sky Highwood once again. He's been showing that before. He's able to just perform when the title's on the line. So just a solid win for Chris Jones. What do you think about this win, Graham?
Jones is getting more and more momentum as much as he's growing out his beard. And I mean, I know Buzz usually gets the power from the beard, but I think Chris Jones is second right now, and he's been on a tear. Retaining the television title not only against his friend Josh D a month or two back, but to take on number one contender. Now, to be fair, Scotty Hollywood did have to go through a rumble. He already did have a match, so I can't really say, wow, Chris Jones, that was so impressive. I mean, dude already had a match. He knew, but Scotty Hollywood knew what he was getting into, and that's the kind of guy that Scotty Hollywood is. I mean, he wants to be in the light. He wants to be on television. And I think that's why he wants this title so badly, because again, it's a television title. I mean, all eyes will be on Scotty Hollywood, and it was just a shame that he just couldn't pull off the victory. But again, he already had a match. Chris Jones, I think, needs a couple more really strong defenses before we can really kind of label him as like one of the really great GW right now. But he is on a roll.
Mm-hmm. And Carol, what do you think?
All right, let me start off with Cletus. Yeah. And secondly, Chris Jones. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm assuming he did some sort of soul fusion with the Macho Man, because this guy has been on a freaking roll here. I mean, let's face it. When the title's on the line, that's like when he's at his best. Like he could throw out every other match he has, but when it comes to a title match, if he brings it all, that's all that matters at the end of the day. And Chris Jones, let's face it, I think the power is in the beard. I mean, well, we've had Buzz and other wrestlers with beards like Lou Albano and guys like that. So it's always from the beard. If he starts putting rubber beards in that and wearing a Mario hat, I'll have even more respect for him. But yeah, but he's been doing pretty well, and who knows how long this title reign will last. I say it'll last for a while, but let's be honest, though, Scotty Hollywood, like you said, he did have a match beforehand. That put him at a serious disadvantage. If anything, I would be looking to maybe have that match restarted and rescheduled, like sometime he feels fresh, maybe because, because maybe if he's 100%, maybe he would have had a shot. But, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
All right. Next match, we had a big 20-man battle royal to kick off the Ascents Chase. Everyone that was part of it got the chance to make their impressions, as it were, and if you were the victor in the Rumble, you were able to get 10 points right off the bat. So a lot of people were looking forward to this one, and we finally learned who are the two other participants, and that was, in fact, Josh G and Raji. Sorry. Um, but yeah, the match was great. A lot of people saw what each person was capable of, and in the end, Razor Sharp through it all got the victory. Got himself 10 points, bro, and secured the win for his Far Beyond Better mates. I know me and Graham were part of it, but uh, what do you think about Razor picking up this win?
Razor is a cheater. The dude, like, I felt bad for him, like, backstage. He was like, Grem, switch numbers with me. I'm like, no, dude. And then he's like, I'll give you a pizza and a free DVD. And I was like, alright, you're on. Alright, so I switched numbers, right? I knew my number, and that's why I, like, disappeared. And then, like, I get back, and Razor's, like, partying it up, going, yeah, I won, I got 10 points. He, like, went into my face, and he was like, 10 points! And I was like, okay, dude, yeah, where's my DVD and pizza, bro? And then he just kind of left, and I was like, no pizza or DVD, dude, and he's a big cheater.
Douche.
But at the same time, it was great to finally kick off the Ascents chase more than anything. I am now more driven, not only, because I believe Razor is in my my bracket, my division, but I'm stoked. I'm ready. I have a challenge now. I have it in front of me. I want to get Norns. I want to get that QZW title back more than anything, and if I have to be down 10 points, then so be it. I'm going to be down 10 points, but I'm going to manage, and I'm going to try my darndest to, outlast everyone and get that title shot.
Mm-hmm. And, Kira, what do you think about Razor Sharp picking up the first win, as it were?
I'm going to be honest with you both. I could give a fuck less. I'm going to be honest with you. This is actually a bittersweet thing for me because last time I was in the first ever Ascents chase and I did poorly. I was second to last in the entire thing. And this year, that means this time I wasn't even considered. It's a bittersweet feeling for me, so anything Ascents chase related now to me is just... It's just a dark moment in my life, and I prefer not to acknowledge them. So Razor Sharp winning the title means absolutely jack shit to me. The guy can go fuck himself as far as I'm concerned, because I have no emotional stake in the Ascents chase whatsoever, unless I were to make it in for the third installment. So,
all right. Next match was the Biohazard Champion between myself and Spence. A lot of high tension in this. A lot of people were worried about the result of this match, to be sure, as if Spence would have won, he would basically become my next Virgil. And, I'll just say this. I came up with the win. I proved once again, I had the win in hand to Spence. And now that he's, basically going to be working for me, I guess, as the case may be, he let... I let the fans decide. They wanted to see it, so if anything, he should blame the fans. Honestly, they wanted to see this match. So that's all I gotta say on that. And now that he's with me, I get to basically show him the life that he's gonna have now. It's gonna be very, very nice to say the least. So. Go ahead, Graham. I'm sure you have your rebuttal.
While we're on the same topic of cheaters, I like to point out that Duke Dice didn't really cheat that much. I wanted to really lay into you on this one, Duke. I totally did. But you know what? You kind of are right. The fans voted for this, and our QZW fans are just so awesome and radical. I just feel bad for Spence because I know that life that you were totally speaking about, Duke, it's really not that fun. It totally was a snore fest, and you know it. But
totally not. I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't totally take my totally. Totally, dude. Just lay off the totally. Nonetheless, yes, Duke Dice is still the biohazard. I'm totally sorry. I know I did that at the pay-per-view, and I apologized now for it, but nonetheless, dude, I think we totally killed our guest, which is good. Maybe. No, maybe not. He does have questions. I don't know, Duke. Again, I should totally be nice. I mean, heck, how many times do we have Main Event Network week? So congratulations on your victory, Spence. I feel totally sorry for you, dude. I'm sorry.
You shouldn't feel sorry for Spence. I mean, come on. He gets to live the life of luxury now.
I feel
Oh,
sorry
God.
for you, Spence. I'm so sorry, dude.
First off, hashtag $25. Secondly, God damn it, Spence. Oh, God. Just, Duke, I'm gonna ask you, please don't make him take off the fedora, because fedora's fucking rule, dude. And as long as he is employed with you, I ought to let you know that, yeah, he's, gonna be working for me, too. Yeah, I'm not taking him away from you guys. I'm just, hey, I need a co-commentator for Arcadia's return to YouTube, so I said, hey, why not Spence? So let's go. But, yeah, oh, dear God. Oh, yeah, I can't say anything more to that, because if I say one more thing, I think I'm gonna break again.
Alright, with that in mind, we'll move on to our next match, which was Air Wolfgang taking on Tank. And this match was very impressive, to say the least, but Wolfgang had some bad news for Tank as he was able to pick up the win once again. This is kind of a struggle for Tank as he's trying to silence the Nazi, as it were. So, you know, a lot of things have been happening. He lost at Night of the Dead. He's, you know, just kind of been struggling to, you know, take on this Air Wolfgang. What do you think is the thing he should focus on, Grem?
You should totally focus on not being such a hateful Nazi dude and be nice. That's what her Wolfgang should totally be thinking about. Now, for Tank, I'm afraid I got some bad news. He did kind of let everyone down more than anything, and I feel totally just, I don't know, feel let down by that because, I mean, this is her Wolfgang, and nobody likes her. I'm sorry. Wolfgang is just a total jerk more than anything. I'm sorry. I'm being very, very blunt about this, but I don't even like him, and I totally like almost everything, except for Wolfgang, Razor Sharp not giving me my DVD and pizza, and Duke Dice's lifestyle. But other than that, I mean, I'm totally cool with everything else. So, I mean, the question also lies too, not where this leads for Wolfgang, and I'm hoping that he doesn't go for any titles or anything. That's the last thing we need is someone like her to actually be totally a champion. But where does this leave Tank? I mean, poor Tank just needs one really big win to kind of get himself going in the right direction. He just you think he's on the brink of doing it, and then something happens, and you're like, dude, what happened? And he's like, I don't know, I got some bad news. And it's like, no, you got some good news. Maybe that's it. Maybe he just needs good news.
Yeah, so maybe that would seem...
Or maybe just news.
At 11?
Yes!
Okay, at Channel 5.
Oh god, I imagine that in my head just now. That would totally fucking work. Anchorman Tank coming to you live from QC.
Hey, maybe that's what he needs. Maybe he needs to be a news anchor. I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know.
Anchorman, the legend of Tank Burgundy.
Great. Nonetheless, Kira, what do you think of besides Tank, just of Wolfgang in general?
I mean, so the Nazis are getting fucking overused at this point. I mean, why don't we just feed him like gallons of T-virus, turn him into a Nazi zombie, and blow his brains out? That would be the logical course of action.
Do you really want to give Tad Peters that knowledge, that idea, dude? You've just doomed Contagion and possibly QZW.
I'm pretty certain Tad Peters wouldn't even touch that because I think Nazi zombies are beyond him. And this is me, a guy who actually tried to fight the Dead Zone at one point, actually giving Tad Peters the benefit of the doubt. This isn't something unprecedented, so bear with me here. But I think Nazi zombies are beyond Tad Peters at this point.
Yeah, well, if next week we see something going wrong with Wolfgang, we know who to blame.
Yeah, you know who to call. Call the Henshin gamer. This guy.
All right, moving on to our next match, we had Sean Carter taking on Timothy Chen for the United States Championship.
God damn it! bad. Why did I open my mouth? Why?
With that said, now that Ted is able to get some ideas.
You all cannot see this, but I am pointing at Kuro right now, and that's all I am totally doing.
And you guys can't see this, but I'm using my mechanical hand to flip Grem the bird.
I'm radical, dude.
Totally not radical, but you know.
We'll move on to our United States Championship match between Shankar and Timothy Chen. A lot of stakes in the line. Shankar basically saying that he wanted a rematch because he had Timothy Chen's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. What?
But yeah, that kind of happened. But regardless, Shankar able to get the win. That's 2 out of 3. He didn't need the 3. He got the 2. He didn't need 5 either. So.
Are we doing counting by Duke
But-
Dice? What's going on here?
What?
Just keep going, dude.
Okay. I'm trying to be funny, and of course it's not working.
No, and I was trying to save you, and you wouldn't even take the life preserver. You decided just to drown. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, Duke Cook.
But regardless, Shankar getting the win. That's gotta be heartbreaking for Timothy Chen. Don't you agree, Graham?
I totally do not agree. And I'll be very, very honest about this. I think the fact that Timothy